Bonjour and welcome back to the Shenanigan. Yes, the French word today because we do have a French guest. Nae, thank you very much for being here.
Hello.
Today we do have an important topic which kind of also brings us to this beautiful historical place, the Straho Stadium, which we definitely recommend you to check out, guys, if you're in Prague. Absolutely fantastic place. But in itself, it's got a bit of a heavy history, if we may say, post-communism era and so on. I'm not the history expert, but my point, just to connect it to a topic of today, is that we are going to have a deep conversation in its own rights that's going to be focusing not only on understanding Naya's story, but also bringing out a bit more the story of the well-being, but and not well-being as in you go to the spa, let's put it that way. I think more well-being as in, I think Central European and Eastern European, there might be an image towards the man, but also the woman, but mostly towards the man, that the man is of a certain image and therefore he won't have emotions. He might not have any burnout or breakdown. I think it's a stereotype in its own way that's interesting to be able to debunk and discuss it a bit more in detail. So first of all, Nae, thank you so much for being here once again. It's a genuine pleasure to have you. I do want to start back from the beginning because, well, you could have stayed in France. Here you are in Prague. And when you reached out to me, it sounded a bit like, and correct me if I'm wrong, that it was either we stop life now or we start over, and that's kind of what Prague gave you in a way. And could you maybe explain to our audience what was going on in your life at that moment back in France and what made you do that jump towards Prague?
Definitely. Yeah, the last 2 years I was back in France, so 2018, 2019. I got diagnosed with bipolarity, and I was going through severe depression, taking medication through the psychiatry. My girlfriend was trying to help me as much as she could, but like the truth is I have an addictive personality, and what happened is just like I went into spiraling without any form of control. I got deep into like hating myself, hating life, hating everything, and what it brought, it was like I was just like getting out of any kind of relationships with my friends, with my family, with my girlfriend as well. Like we pretty much like I was hating on everyone and everybody was hating me back, which led to a realization that shit is going south at some point. So we broke up with my girlfriend, and I was under the impression that nothing could really go further south if it was either I would like really kill myself or I just need a really fresh start. And I've been visiting Prague for a while, for a few times already, and I really enjoyed the atmosphere of the city, the beauty of the architecture, the fact that you have green places everywhere. I thought that maybe this might be the place to go to. And so in June 2019, July 2019, when we ended things with my partner, I said like to myself, yeah, I should really try to go move there. I saved some money for 8 months, and February I arrived just like a month before COVID, I could say, and best decision ever, definitely.
And did you feel while being in France, and this is more from the view other people had around you, that there was this need to pretend like you were handling it?
There was a couple of factors. Like the first one might be like the economic factor. To have a job in France and to survive with like the minimum wage is kind of difficult, because if you don't have qualifications, or if you don't have like a rich family to support you, or if you don't have like this kind of, you just always struggle. There is no way to say it otherwise. It's always the constant pain of like doing the daily grind to get the minimum and never really having like the opportunity to climb up the ladder of society. If you're a middle class person, if you cannot really go higher, you're stuck in there. So like I would say that the economic factor, the fact that you're always looking for money, always like trying to pay your rent, like basically living from paycheck to paycheck, was one of the things that put me down a lot. Then, yes, there is also like this aspect of if you're suffering from mental illness, you're pretty much alone all the time. You don't really have like the opportunity to really talk to people about what you're feeling, because like it's either they're not interested, or also you don't want to bother them because they also have their own stuff going on. And there are moments where you're just basically facing the harshness and truth of existence and reality by yourself, for yourself, which in any cases is it's not easy. It's painful. It's a lot of deep-rooted pain that like just like gnaws into your brains and everything in aspects that the people like often really cannot imagine. It's like, let's say, little needles that are poking through your eye constantly, and you want to close your eyes, but you cannot really like make it through, and nobody is there to really listen to that. So of course you have like the therapists, you have like the opportunity to go talk to a person, but sometimes it's not really working. Like to be able to talk or to take medication, it doesn't really like make the voices go away. And especially for me, it's like at night, it's the worst when everybody's asleep, when you're having to face the fucking thoughts yourself. Yeah,
Okay.
it burns. It's like a slow burn that you cannot really like take away, and you feel it constantly. And just not being able to really share anything about it is harsh.
Yeah. Which, as a side note, but sincere respect of you coming to the podcast and sharing your story, I think takes balls. There's no going around it. It takes balls. We're going to go more deep in regards to the whole masculinity culture behind it and what you were actually discussing now, but also how maybe music helped in its own way, since you are a musician. But I do want to bring it now to a more positive angle, which is, coming to Prague. You've already mentioned why Prague in the first place, but I am curious as to understand or to know if there was a moment since you got in Prague that you remember particularly where it was like, you know what, I'm still here, it's gonna be okay. Was there something that triggered that in Prague to you, or a specific moment or specific aspect of Prague that gave you that? Or are you still looking for it? Who knows?
I think, yes, I had this thing. Like I got it the first time ever I arrived in Prague. It was in 2012. We were having a road trip with one of my best friends to go to Poland to visit the concentration camps for history purposes. Like really, it was important for us to discover the gravity of that. And we had a halt in Prague on one specific date. It was the 24th of February in 2012, exactly. And I didn't know anything about the city, just it was the capital city of Czech Republic. But the same day, like one of my favorite bands was playing there. So we arrived, and straight away I got a fond memory of the city. So we arrived, we saw like the streets in the center in Narodny Třída. I was like already in awe of like the atmosphere, the architecture. Everything was beautiful, everything was nice, everything was clean. No much animosity, not much like aggressivity like we have in France, for example. And we entered the Tesco, we saw like the booze was cheap, the food was cheap, everything was super nice. Said to ourselves like, this is a really, really nice place. So I went to the concert, I got like really fond of this place, and I came back a few years later. And that's the initial memory that came to my mind, that when I realized like, I love this city. I love this city, no matter what happens, this is like the place to be at some point. And then a few years later, I was like already thinking about moving there, couldn't do it because whatever reason, life. And the question you're asking is about like the moment that I realized like this place is like meant for me, definitely. Was probably I arrived in February 2020, 1 month just before COVID. Lockdown completely, not really opportunities to meet people. After like 3-4 weeks of like having fun, discovering, like going to concert, going to bars, like meeting random strangers, and also like starting like a band, playing music. Everything is going like completely locked down. So I was living in Skalka. It's like far away from the center.
And the Green Line,
and
yeah.
my main view from my room was the Tesco in front. And basically what I was
Prague.
doing was like just going from my room to Tesco to get booze, get back, and like just drink myself to death every night. It was not a pleasant moment, but it was also not a horrible moment compared to what I was living in France. So there was no work involved anymore. I got a job since I arrived, like pretty much really fast, and they couldn't keep me due to Corona reasons.
Yeah.
And in the end, they took me back like 2 months later. So it was an emotional roller coaster. The moment I realized that, yeah, this is the place for me, I went for a walk in the city at night, and there was nobody anywhere. And all I saw was beauty, calmness, quiet. And it resonated with my mind where everything is already always like really loud constantly. I have like these voices like going strong at all times, especially at night. This time it was just like peace. And I said to myself like, I can breathe. I can fucking finally breathe. And when everything opened back, I started having friends, going out, having like these moments where I could share things with people, play music with really amazing people as well that are my friends still to this day. I really thank Radek and Peter to be my legends of brothers here that welcomed me straight away when I arrived. And yeah, this was the moment I realized pretty much that things were here like way nicer than they used to be in France. Even though everything was in lockdown, everything was like kind of still like, you don't really know what's gonna happen tomorrow because you don't have a job, you don't have anything. But the quiet and the peace of mind makes you feel like you can handle it, you will manage, it will be all right in the end.
It's quite interesting because, let's be honest, you pretty much had a rollout of shit. You leave France, it's a shit story. You arrive in Prague, you finally get to relive, and boom, COVID. But ironically, yeah, in a way I can see what you mean by that silence. Suddenly the stopness, the time just paused, and it kind of gives you a moment to actually...
I kind of enjoy chaos in this aspect of when you don't have to leave the routine, when everything is going to shit and you have to struggle.
Yeah.
It makes me feel alive. It makes me feel like, okay, like I have something to work towards in order to get back to some kind of seemingly, quietness, peace, whatever, like order.
Yeah.
When you're going through chaos, you don't really think, you just have to survive. And when you have like this survival mode, everything stops, you're going for it, you're fighting. But in this aspect, what was happening was just nothing was happening anywhere in the world. Everything was still. People would not go to their jobs, restaurants were not open, bars were not open, like you could not go to the mall to buy some stuff, you could not go to the supermarket. Well, you could go to the supermarket, but everything was so still and so quiet that you have to put yourself also in perspective regarding the situation that you're living. And for me, it was that, yeah, everything is going south, everything is going to shit, but it's finally quiet. It's finally nice. It's finally, I can just like enjoy the moment. It's like the Avengers Endgame when Thanos does the blip, like, and half the population disappears. Well, like, that was it. That was the fucking blip. Like, in 2020, what happened is, like, nobody was in the street and nobody was, like, looking towards to pretend. Nobody was looking really to do things because nobody was there.
Yeah.
And you just can walk and, like, feel that, wow, this quietness resonates within me. This, like, peace resonates within me, within my mind, within my emotions as well, and it made me feel better for a while.
Okay. So let's bring it back to the masculinity culture, and still highlighting a bit the silence aspect. But I think it's fair to say, you know, there's a pressure in its own way to be strong, and how culture has an impact in regards to shaping it in its own right. And across countries, Where and do you think, in general, men are under the most pressure to hide what they feel? I want to rephrase that by saying, did you feel that the need to be strong as an individual, man, woman, it doesn't matter, the need to be strong as an individual was much more present in France or here, or is just genuinely the same? Because I think that would also had not a leverage, but helped out a bit in just being able to relax a bit.
I think it's pretty much the same. Really, it's not so much about the need to be strong. It's like about the fact that actually you cannot really express yourself. Like when you're a guy, when you're a dude, when you're a man, whatever, no gender specificities. But when you're a man, like a cis man, whatever, nobody really gives a shit about what you think. Nobody really takes interests about like how you're behaving and how you're like dealing with the thoughts that you have, and most of the time it's just like, yo, it's not so much the need to be strong, it's just the need to fucking shut the fuck up. You cannot talk, you cannot really express yourself because like nobody is really interested in what you have to say, nobody is really interested in what you have to feel, and this culture of fucking social medias, for example, is like going into that direction where every guy that tries to, every man that tries to actually express themselves, it's encountered with a lot of, we don't care, or just like no reply, no responses. I'm not saying that for a woman it's less difficult, because for a woman you also have to deal with like the fact that you have a lot of creepy stuff happening, like a lot of like people that are just like going to degrade you, to belittle you for whatever you're doing. This is absolute truth, and I'm not saying anything otherwise. It's just like there is a span of attention that goes towards women in general that doesn't go at all towards men and their own struggles. So if you have like something that goes through your brain, something, mental illness, something that is like bothering you, there are really little few people that you can actually count on to just have a talk. Just like to express what's going on through your brain. And maybe because of the Slavic heritage of Czech Republic, it's even harsher here. I have a lot of friends also here that just don't really talk about their feelings, and when we're together, I try to push them into the boundaries. Yeah, it's communicating in a manly manner, I would say, to just like express what you're going through is absolutely difficult. It's absolutely unbearable in some aspects, because there are not that much people that are willing to listen, and you understand that in a young age. In a young age. So yeah, you were saying that men have to be stronger. No, men, I just need to fucking learn to shut the fuck up since a really young age, because the family, everybody, when you're expressing something, it's there is a lot of, oh, what you're feeling is not real. What you're feeling is cinema. Just like man up, do it strongly or whatever. And so you learn to just be silent, and the silence that you lure yourself into brings a lot of damaged people in this world that are just doing things and constantly being in pain. So imagine having a back pain and still having to carry heavy lift every day, but not being really able to say anything about it. Say that, okay, you will die doing it. You will fucking die doing it. You will just like get like into at some point, you will collapse. You will collapse, and your back will not be able to hold you, and you will just not being able to walk. And so the heavy work that you were doing, everybody will say, oh, you were brave, you were nice and everything. But you just suffered your whole life for nothing. And that's what's pretty much is happening with mental health in men in general. You cannot really express yourself. You cannot really talk about anything because nobody is really paying attention. And when it's too late, it's too late.
Yep.
You have a lot of some fucking friends mine, like not further than last year. I had a friend of mine dying because he was under cancer suffering. He died of an overdose. With my brother, we had a friend like 2 years ago that also killed himself because of this. He couldn't not talk about things. He could not really. And I wish he was able to express it to me, but now it's too fucking late. It's too fucking late. And having these people going away and just like not being there anymore, you can realize that as people, as friends, as men, like we need to be close to each other and we need to talk to each other to share as much because, yeah, it's important. I always say to my friends that I love them and they can talk to me and everything because I don't want to lose them as much as probably some of them don't want to lose me. And yeah, it's a tough subject to do because you know that most of the time nobody is listening. So
First of all, I do want to say, to you and your brother, my condolences towards losing your friends. Of course, that doesn't bring them back. And I do want to back up a bit what you're saying as well to the audience. Eurostat 2023 and the World Health Organization 2022, 75% of suicide in Europe are men. In Czechia, Czech Republic, man's suicide rate is 4 times higher than women. And of course, as well mentioned here, we're not here to say that one way is worse than the other, man or woman. It's just that it's present. And I like what you were saying, that it's not strength if it's just learning to shut up. There's no strength behind that at all. It's more, no. That's a wrong choice of word. I do want to bring it back here. I was like, no, we do have a lot of course, when you start recording a podcast, there's always the moments when the trucks, the buses decide to pass by. So it's always the same. I'm just waiting for a private plane to fly this altitude right behind us. All right, a bit of an icebreaker aside, but let's bring it to something that I think is also great to highlight because you travel a lot in regards to that, and I think music plays a big role in this conversation. But when it comes to metal, so the genre of music that you're into, how metal and performance gave you an outlet in its own right. Would you say that music gives you, allows you to say things that you wouldn't otherwise be able to say in words or just be able to say in general?
yes.
And why?
Yes, because the lyrics that I write, the music that I perform is basically an extension of my own thoughts, my own emotions. And what I'm singing in my lyrics, depending on the band, I have like this main band called Anti-Life from France. It's black metal that is really focused into the negative side of mental health. It's really about depression. It's really about suicide. So basically what I'm saying there is what I cannot say otherwise, like in a quiet voice in public, like we're talking right now.
Yeah.
The things that I'm screaming my heart out in this band are the things that I'm thinking deeply about myself, about my family, about my relationships, about like everything, basically. And every single piece of words that was put into that, every single line of music that I wrote as well, was made into this exorcism of my thoughts and my brain. And being able to say it out loud in front of a crowd, it's probably like the best part of a therapy. Like you cannot say these kind of things also like to a therapist, otherwise they would lock you down. That's something that is great. And with my other project here, Barbara, it's more about like a societal view, like more observation of the world, but also like the things that disgust me profoundly. And we are sharing this writing of the lyrics with the guy with the things that makes us not really feel comfortable in this existence. So, in all aspects, having the opportunity to go play shows and sing these songs in fashion that is happening on pretty much every night you're saying these things to people that they don't understand it because it's like harsh vocals, growls, screams, and everything. They don't need to really understand it, but just you knowing that you're voicing it out, it lifts a weight. It lifts a weight. So music in all aspects is a focus of the pain, shaping into a form and throwing it out in the world, making your voice hurt for once.
And do you feel it reflects you and not just the music, but the tattoos, the piercing, that image that you show us as well today? Would you say it reflects you?
Yes, it is. It's everything is part of myself. Like every modification that I bring to my body, like the scars that I have, the tattoos, the piercings, are things that make me comfortable in this existence. Sorry for the
Yep, no
throat.
worries, no worries.
We are brought into this life naked. We are brought into this life without any kind of modification, and religion tells us that your body is your temple. Well, my body is my temple, definitely, but the temple that I want to have is like the temple I'm comfortable being with. My spirit and my thoughts needs to be in the same aspect as my body. So like the chaos, the darkness, the nasty things, but also the happy things. Are part of myself. They are part of my tattoos, part of my piercings, part of my scars, part of like any modifications that I have. They are just, yes, this is something that like what I show outside is also what I have inside. Some people might understand it, some people don't, some people might disagree, some people, I don't really give a fuck, man. It's about yourself always at all time, because in the end, paying too much attention to what others say will only bring you down. And I don't need others to bring myself down. I am already doing like a perfect job with that myself. So, yeah. It's a realization, it's a sharing of everything. What I have on my skin, what I show is what I am.
I like that. And I do want to give a chance as well for you to mention it, but first of all, is your music available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the usual platforms?
We are available with some of my projects on Spotify indeed, but mostly on Bandcamp and YouTube.
Okay.
Because as much as Spotify is a really nice platform to listen to music, it's also really fucking shitty for artists. You don't really get paid for anything about that. And little that people know is actually when you are an artist and you want to put your music on there, you have to pay. You have to pay every year to a third-party subscription to a company that actually will put you on these platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer, whatever. You cannot do it yourself. This is not a free service. Like you have to pay to get there. And honestly, what happens is like Spotify is like grossing billions of fucking dollars and euros every year, when artists actually are earning nothing. I will take an example that I read recently in the news, like Snoop Dogg. One of the greatest rappers of all time, fucking love Snoop Dogg. The guy has billions of listening on Spotify. And he earned last year a paycheck of $45,000.
Jesus Christ.
How can like a guy that is there for 30 years, that has like the fucking best lyrics, has the fucking best flow in the world, that has like, when he goes into making a featuring on a single of somebody else, he asks for like $2,050 to get into that stuff. He earned $45,000 last year.
Jesus Christ. Okay, well, let's go away from the platforms. And where can we see you playing? Are you going to be playing in Prague anytime soon or anywhere nearby?
Hopefully, yes. We have some changes with Barbara because my dear friend Peter decided to leave the band now.
Okay.
Just after the tour, because he wants to focus more on his family, and I'm really happy for him. He will have a really nice life. But we're gonna continue with Mike and get back on stage as soon as possible. I'm gonna release a second album probably this year as well. And with Anti-Life, I'm gonna go celebrate the 10th year anniversary in France in January.
Holy shit. 10 years already?
Yeah.
How do you
Been
feel
playing music for quite some time now. I'm feeling old, man. It's 33 and I'm already feeling like stupidly old.
How do you feel? 10-year anniversary is quite a number.
I have trouble to realize it yet.
Yeah, it hasn't hit you,
I think it will go there when it goes there.
Yeah.
We released 3 albums. We toured in 2 different continents. We played music in pretty much like Western Europe, Central Europe, South, North, whatever. And damn, I enjoyed it. We never earned any single euro out of that, losing a lot of money. But I love my guys. I love playing. I love being able to share my vision of the world. Like last time we were on tour with this band was actually in February. We went to Canada. And being able to meet new people, being able to see new cultures, being able to like eat different food. Yeah, that's part of the things that make this life slightly more enjoyable than just grinding yourself to death in a shitty job.
Sounds pretty fair, yeah. It sounds pretty honest there. There's one question I want to ask. There isn't here necessarily, but I think it's as important. The audience itself, because you're showing your true self through your music and not limited to, but do you feel the audience sees that or it just sees it as music? Do they also see the lyrics behind it? Have you seen someone from your audience, reflecting that to you directly?
Yes, I've seen some people writing to the band page or directly to me, sharing like their... For Anti-Life, for example, yeah, I've seen quite a few people telling me that they feel completely resonating with what I'm saying. They read the lyrics that are available. Like I don't make all my lyrics, especially with Anti-Life. Only the 3rd album has like the lyrics available. But the pain I show on stage, the things that I do to myself, it's really hardcore performances. So it's not for everybody. It's a lot of using knives and cutting myself, like hurting myself and screaming in the microphone, bleeding in the audience and this kind of stuff. I've seen some people telling me that they were really deeply shocked by the performance, but at the same time, they could only relate to it. And so this is kind of weird feeling. I don't want people to really feel that way in their everyday life. I'm kind of empathetic, but I want to share that what is true, like what is authentic, what is like actually like going through my brain. So if I hurt myself and I do this kind of thing for a catharsis, and people tell me that, yo, I felt it deeply in my bone marrow, it was like bothering me to the fullest, then I succeeded. Then I succeeded as an artist. I succeeded as a person that wants to share emotions and that wants to, even though it's a really negative message, like this negative message that is shared by a lot of people, like make you understand that we can talk. The thing that I was saying earlier about people not being really able to talk, my music, I think, helped a few, not a lot of people, because we're still like nobodies, but a few people to be able to open themselves up about what they're feeling. To me, to their families, to whoever, go into therapy, go into get some help from anywhere. So yeah, there is this aspect that is reward. That's the only reward really that we get.
It's a pretty, I can imagine, must be quite a nice.
It is important.
Yeah.
It's like the most important thing that I could ever do. I first and foremost do it for myself. As I said, as a form of therapy, as a form of catharsis, being able to scream these words into the audience are helping me getting some kind of peace afterwards. I'm looking forward to actually perform these kind of shows, to hurt myself, to get into this demonic mode of being in trance, being in everything, because like then I don't have to reproduce this stuff in everyday life. It's like these performances.
Put it on the stage and leave it there.
Exactly, exactly.
I like
Because I used to have like these urges to cut myself. I have this thing like one of my main addictions is to hurt myself, and so like the self-mutilation, scarification, whatever was part of my everyday life for years and years and years. Then I got these outlets, this music, this black metal is like the worst genre in music. People hate it, and I understand because it's shit. But at the same time, like the negativity that you can put yourself into that, the authenticity that you can put, it might seem cringe to a lot of people, but I have to tell you, man, like I don't care. It's so important for me to just being able. It helps me being alive. If I didn't have that, I would not be there talking to you right now. I would not be able to do the things, and the visions of like killing yourself are constant in my brain. Not every day, not in intensity, always the same, but having these outlets, having this ability to actually talk to an audience, say things like that are harsh truth, and make it real, because when you voice something, you make it real. That's the thing that keeps me alive. So I will love black metal until the day I die. It will be like my genre of music that is the most important. And yeah, these performances are salvation in some kind of aspect. I have a tattoo on my back. And the main sigil that is on the top was designed by a tattoo artist, and it means redemption through pain. And this is it, the pain that I go there and share with the audience with the music that I do. This is the thing that actually makes me live to this day.
Okay. We're coming to the last questions. I feel that you've already partially answered what does stability look like for you now. I think that's clear, and that in a way it gives you to find your own peace as well. But has living in Prague in its own right, because as we know, Shenanigan is also about reflecting on how Czech Republic, not just Prague, can support, whether you're a business owner, whether it's a mental strength or whatsoever, but has it allowed you to redefine who you are in its own way compared to the person you were in France?
Yes. Absolutely. This country, compared to France, is a haven of peace. You can find a job quite easily. So there is almost no unemployment compared to France, for example, statistically speaking. So like if you're a foreigner that is looking for a job and you speak several languages, it will not be necessarily like the greatest job ever, but you can find a job. So you can get money, you can get paid for that and live in a fashionably comfortable manner. Let's say middle class comfortable, not high end. You cannot like go on vacation all the time, but you have your paid leaves of vacation every year, and you can go like wherever you want. So I'm going to Mexico like for 3 years in a row now, like paying my plane tickets, enjoying myself for weeks and weeks, and it's great. This is the first part that is definitely a big plus. Things are a bit cheaper, obviously, except for the housing.
It's quite the opposite to the housing.
Yeah, the housing is like, it's chaos. Like,
get a house in France and get the food here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But at the same time, look at this city, man.
Yep.
Green everywhere. You can go.
A drone shot here.
You can go in any places, in any major neighborhoods, you will have a green spot.
Yep.
So for the mental health, for walking outside, for breathing a bit, to take the sun, absolutely fucking perfect. The transportation is great. You don't have to stress about like when you will arrive. Everything is on time. Everything works. People here are made to think things work. It fucking works. What can I say else? The cultural life. The cultural life is amazing. You can go to concerts every day of the week. You can go to see things every day of the week. You have museums. You have You have events, you have like exhibitions, you have whatever you want, you can do it. And every corner of the city, you can go sometimes like really far away in Validovna, or you can go, I don't know, like in Skalka, and like find something that is happening there, like because people are doing things. Even though it's a residential area, you can still see some really nice stuff. So grow yourself spiritually and intellectually is a thing that you can do, and nobody prevents it. In France, culture is dying every single week. Like the bars and the pubs are closing, like the places where you have like the meetings, the cultural associations are getting like crushed down by things that are out of control. The laws, and here it still exists, so it helps. What else can I say about Prague? Well, you take the train 20 minutes and you get into the most beautiful nature ever. You go into seeing some lakes, you're going to seeing like some mountains, and everything is nice. People are kind of, I like to compare Czech people to hobbits. So
Go on. I'm curious because we do have a Czech person
first
behind the camera.
they seem a bit like cold.
Yeah.
But when you break the ice barrier, they are the best fucking people ever. When I met for the first time Radek and Peter, Radek was like outgoing, so he was like the really funny guy. But Peter was super cold to me, and we ended up being like almost best friends. And this guy, like, I can trust him with my life, and I know that we are gonna have fun. And this is the aspect that I'm saying. It's not a joke. It's the real observation that I have. Like, if you break the ice barrier, if you actually like manage to get into a group of people, they will treat you better than anybody else. So I like the idea of having your privacy and your quiet, so that people actually just don't really bother you. You can come back like at 5 a.m. completely wasted in the metro. People will not like calculate you at all in the metro. They will just leave you there, as long as you're not doing anything bad. Because if you're doing anything bad, oh man, you're here for a fucking bad time. Like, they will destroy you. You will end up in fucking jail. I did once because of one of my stupid...
So here in Prague.
A stupid friend of mine did a really stupid thing of drawing a tag inside the tram, and I was really drunk and sleepy, and we got all like caught by the police and spent the night in jail. Didn't get any charges. I don't have a criminal record whatsoever, but people here are, they don't want to be disturbed with their peace, and I respect that to the fullest. Rules are not meant to be something that dominates you, but guidelines that make the society a better place and more understanding with each and everybody. And I only can say that I fucking agree with that, man. I enjoy being here and knowing that people are actually like behaving, not being fucking animals. In France, you can be a fucking animal all the time. You can be mental in the transportation. You can throw stuff, you can tag, and like nobody will do a single thing about it. Nobody will come to you and say like, hey, what you're doing is wrong. Here, straight away, stop doing that. I can only respect, and this is why this society, Czech people are complaining about like their governments and everything, and I get it. Nobody is really satisfied with their own place of living, but I can say as a foreigner, and when I can observe, like this society is peaceful and is nice, and it's great to be here because people actually want to be together to make something happen that is like in a societal way, a cohesion that is beautiful. That's what I would like to say. So hail to Czech Republic, one of the best countries in the world, for me at least, and it saved my life, so.
Na zdraví to Czech Republic.
Na zdraví.
What about humor, actually? I think of it because, in a way, you know, the concept of dark humor, very well present in Czech Republic, not present at all in Europe, in France particularly. And in its own way, dark humor is a great way also to express yourself, particularly
Definitely.
when you face different difficulties. Do you feel that this is something that, I wouldn't say, I don't want to go on the, did it help you, as important as that is, but do you see that as an added advantage that
Oh,
this country
yes.
has
Oh,
such a
yes.
level of
You
acceptance?
can laugh about, as long as you know the people, because
Yeah.
it's not always welcome to do some dark jokes with people that you don't know. But when you have a group of friends, you can laugh about everything. We were on tour with Barbara in St. Minster, so like Barbara is my band, and we have one Czech guy, and St. Minster are all Czech people. And for 2 weeks, we didn't stop joking about horrible stuff. Horrible stuff. I will not like say anything here because like it would get us canceled. But yo, man, this is fun, and it makes you put things in perspective. We have an artist in north of France, famous in France, called Didier Super, who said one thing that resonated with my brain: "It's better to laugh about it than not care about it." And to this day, yeah, you can laugh about every fucking thing that you want, as long as it's like with the right people, obviously, because not everybody is willing to listen to your dark humor. And I have to say, it's liberating. It's definitely liberating. You can say some horrible stuff, joke about horrible stuff that you don't have to believe in. But you can say it in a joke, and if people are reacting like, it's a win for you, it's a win for them, and it's like a group cohesion as well. So yeah, dark humor, and Czech people are really good with that as well. So
That's nice.
yes, big plus.
Let's get to the last question to kind of reflect back, I want to say. If you could go back and talk to the version of yourself from 5 years ago, the one thinking about ending it, what would you say to him now?
I don't know. I'm not yet the best version of myself. Probably would say like it doesn't really get easier in the general aspect, but there are some good moments. So just live for them. Try to hang on the thing that is going on, because there are some good moments. There will be like some really horrible moments. I had like some really bad times as well here in Czech Republic. But there are also like some moments of solace that you need to look forward, because this is the only thing that makes life bearable. And when it is, it's good. It's good. The tour that we had like last week and 2 weeks ago was a great moment. Last year we went for a camping moment, a weekend with my friends in Berun in Lomkosov. It was a great moment. Going to concerts with my friends, going for a beer in the bars that we love. Yeah, these are moments of solace in this life. Sometimes things are getting like really dark real fast and you cannot really avoid it. But then again, when you find the light, this is where you need to, and in any aspect, I always say that, like, you cannot really see how bright the light shines if you haven't been in complete darkness. So, in these moments where my life is joyful, my life is beautiful. For example, I have a really amazing, lovely girlfriend, Ivana. She is like the best person in the world. And every time I see her, like, it makes me feel easier in this existence. So when I have like these dark moments for myself, and when I suffer, when I want to hurt myself, when I want to like disappear, and then I see her and light is brighting shinier, I guess. So yeah, the thing that I would say to my former self is just like, if you still want to hang on, you don't have to. If you want to kill yourself, do it. But like, if you still want to hang on, there will be some nice moments.
Okay. Thank you. And I do want to close it off by first saying, speak, talk, be true to yourself. Please be careful towards yourself and towards those around you. I think it's fair to highlight that. And as I think our audience will know by now, the podcast here is not here to judge. It's not here to point fingers. It's to give a mic, hear a story, and share it. So on that note, thank you so very much, Nai, for joining us today and for sharing your story.
Thank you.
And thank you to our, he wants to clap. Thank you to our audience. Make sure to follow us. Make sure to subscribe to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. And go check out the website, shenanigan.cz. Thank you very much. Take care.
If I
No,
might
please,
just
yeah.
like add one last thing, like a word of remembrance for my fallen friends. Alexei, Romain, I'm raising my beer to you guys. Perrine, my beloved Perrine, guys that disappeared like these last few years that were dear to me. And life is for the living, so keep on doing it as much as you can. Don't force yourself, but at the same time, if you can have a good laugh and good moment, enjoy it. Cheers.